Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive. Today we're heading north to a place that's pretty much synonymous with mystery and the unexplained. We're talking about the Alaska Triangle. This is a region where people vanish without a trace, planes seem to disappear into thin air, and compasses spin like crazy. We've got some incredible firsthand accounts, official reports, and even some scientific studies to try and get a handle on what's going on.
You know, what really fascinates me is how deep the history of the Alaska Triangle goes. It's not just some recent internet fad, we're talking about a century's worth of reports. People have been encountering strange phenomena in this area since the early 1900s.
A century. That's a long time for a mystery to stick around. So where do we even begin with something this big? What were those early reports like?
Well, a lot of them were about strange lights and UFO sightings, which kind of set the stage for what was to come. But the incident that really put the Alaska Triangle on the map, so to speak, was the Japanese Airlines encounter back in 1986.
Oh yeah, that one was huge. An entire flight crew witnessed a massive disc-shaped UFO. And we're not talking about some blurry photo from a cell phone. These were experienced pilots filing official reports.
Exactly. This wasn't just another random sighting. You had multiple credible witnesses, detailed reports filed by professionals, and the sheer size of the object they described was unlike anything anyone had seen before. After that incident, it became a lot harder to dismiss the Alaska Triangle as just folklore or tall
It
tales.
went from campfire stories to something that demanded attention. And then there were the disappearances, which are just chilling. Like the case of Hale Boggs and Nick Begich back in 1972, their plane just vanished.
And despite extensive search efforts, they never found any wreckage, no bodies, no clues. It's like they just stepped off the map. And that's a pattern we see a lot in Alaska Triangle cases, this complete and utter lack of any trace.
It's almost like they slipped into another dimension, which some people believe is exactly what's happening.
Right.
But it's not just UFOs, right? The Alaska Triangle seems to have a whole smorgasbord of bizarre phenomena.
You're right, it's not just flying saucers and missing planes. There are also documented reports of strange magnetic anomalies, which are really interesting from a scientific standpoint.
So there might be a natural explanation for at least some of this. But then you have these accounts from people who describe feeling disoriented or having these weird sensations like reality itself is warping around them.
Hmm, that's certainly a possibility. We're still learning so much about how the human body, magnetic fields, and even consciousness all interact.
It makes you wonder if we're witnessing something truly beyond our current understanding. Or maybe there are scientific explanations waiting to be uncovered. Of course, a mystery like this attracts all kinds of
Oh,
theories.
yeah.
Everything from extraterrestrial activity to interdimensional portals to secret government cover-ups. What are some of the most common theories you've come across?
Well, given all the UFO sightings, the extraterrestrial theory is a natural fit. Then there's the idea of interdimensional portals, trying to explain those sudden disappearances and the appearance of strange lights. And of course, you can't forget the government cover-up theory, often linked to rumors of secret facilities hidden away in the vast Alaskan wilderness.
The classic cover-up.
Yeah.
Never gets old. But seriously, what are your thoughts on these theories? Do you think any of them are more plausible than others?
Honestly, I think it's important to approach all of them with a healthy dose of skepticism. While some might seem more likely than others, the reality is we simply don't have enough conclusive evidence to prove or disprove any of them.
Yeah, I guess the government isn't going to release a press statement saying, yep, we've got an alien base and a portal to another dimension, but keep it quiet. What about the eyewitness accounts? Those have to count for something, right?
Oh, absolutely. Eyewitness accounts give us valuable firsthand perspectives, and they often point investigators in new directions. But we also have to consider the subjective nature of human perception.
So what one person sees as a UFO, another might interpret as something totally different. It's all about perspective.
Exactly.
Are there any particularly striking eyewitness accounts that come to mind?
One that always stands out is from a group of hikers who were camping in the region. They reported seeing these incredibly bright lights moving erratically in the sky above them. They described the lights as unlike anything they'd ever seen, moving with a speed and agility that seemed to defy physics.
Oh, wow, that's pretty spooky. Seeing something like that out in the middle of nowhere, it would definitely shake you up. It wasn't just one person seeing things, it was a whole group, which adds another layer of credibility.
Right.
Any other stories that sent chills down your spine?
There's another account from a pilot who describes seeing a large, disc-shaped object flying alongside his aircraft. What makes this account so interesting is that the pilot was very experienced and highly trained. He was a reliable observer, not prone to flights of fancy. But he claimed that this object simply vanished without a trace, leaving him questioning his own sanity.
Vanishing without a trace. That seems to be a recurring theme in the Alaska Triangle.
It does, doesn't it?
It's like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
And while some people might dismiss these accounts as hallucinations or misidentifications, the sheer volume and consistency of these reports, they really suggest that something unusual is happening in this region.
It definitely makes you wonder. So, with all this mystery swirling around, has anyone tried to seriously investigate the Alaska Triangle? Are there people actually trying to get to the bottom of this?
Absolutely. There have been a number of investigations and research efforts over the years. Some researchers are using advanced technology and scientific methods, hoping to find tangible evidence that can explain these occurrences.
So, it's not just armchair detectives and conspiracy theorists. There's genuine scientific interest in the Alaska Triangle.
Oh, definitely. Some of the most promising research focuses on the geological and environmental factors of the region. There's a growing belief that certain natural phenomena could be contributing to some of these strange events.
Okay, so while aliens and portals are fun to think about, there might be a more down-to-earth explanation for at least some of these mysteries. What kind of geological or environmental factors are we talking about here?
Well, for example, the area is known for its unusual magnetic fields. And we also have to consider the impact of the extreme weather conditions, the vast and often uncharted terrain, and the possibility of undiscovered geological formations.
Interesting. Have any of these investigations turned up any significant findings?
While there hasn't been a definitive breakthrough, some studies have shown some interesting correlations between certain geological features and the locations where incidents have been reported. For example, there seems to be a cluster of magnetic anomalies around areas with a high concentration of disappearance reports. But it's still too early to draw any firm conclusions.
So the jury's still out on what's really happening in the Alaska Triangle. But it sounds like the scientific community is taking it seriously, which is encouraging. It's not just being brushed off as a bunch of tall tales. And it sounds like we're just scratching the surface here. What about recent reports? Are people still seeing strange things in the Alaska Triangle?
Oh, absolutely. The Alaska Triangle continues to generate new reports of UFO activity, strange lights, and unexplained events.
Wow, so the mystery continues. This is all incredibly fascinating, and I'm sure our listeners are hooked. But we've only just begun. We have so much more to explore, more eyewitness accounts to dig into, and even some recent reports that might just blow your mind. Stay with us. We'll be right back after a short break to continue our deep dive into the Alaska Triangle.
Looking forward to it. The Alaska Triangle really holds on to its secrets, doesn't it?
It does. It's like a magnet for the bizarre and unexplained. So let's get into some of those recent reports. What have people been seeing lately?
Well, one that caught my eye was from a group of fishermen who saw this strange glowing orb. It was hovering over the water. And they said it was completely silent and moving with this like eerie purpose.
A glowing orb over the water. That's got to be unsettling even for seasoned fishermen.
Did they mention anything weird happening with their equipment, like their compass is going crazy?
Actually, yeah, they did say that their compasses started spinning like crazy when the orb appeared, which, as we talked about earlier, could be a sign of those magnetic anomalies in the area. Right, those anomalies. Makes you wonder if there's some kind of electromagnetic connection to all of this. What other recent reports have you seen?
There's also been a spike in sightings of what people are calling unidentified aircraft, especially around military bases.
Okay.
Witnesses describe seeing these sleek triangular craft moving silently at incredible speeds, like way beyond anything we know of.
Triangular craft near military bases. Well, that's definitely going to get the conspiracy theorists talking. Do any of these reports have details in common, or are they all pretty different?
There are definitely some recurring themes, the silent movement, unusual lights, and objects suddenly vanishing. But each report also has its own unique elements, which makes it tough to draw, any firm conclusions.
It's like solving a puzzle where the pieces keep changing. As we go deeper into this, it's striking how many different types of experiences people have reported. It's not just lights in the sky or missing planes. It's strange creatures, time distortions, feeling like you're being watched.
You've hit on a really important point. The Alaska Triangle isn't limited to just one type of unexplained phenomenon. It's a mix of all things strange and bizarre.
Right, so we've got UFOs, magnetic anomalies, missing people, strange creatures. It seems like the list goes on and on. With all these different experiences and theories, is there anything that ties it all together?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? There isn't
Yeah.
one single answer that everyone agrees on. But one thing that keeps coming up is the impact on human perception. Many witnesses talk about feeling disoriented or confused, or even experiencing a sense of altered reality.
So maybe there's something about the Alaska Triangle that messes with our senses or how we experience time and space.
Yeah.
That's a pretty mind-boggling thought. Could there be a scientific reason for this kind of perceptual distortion?
Well, there's a growing amount of evidence suggesting that certain environmental factors, like electromagnetic fields or infrasound, can really affect how we perceive things and even cause altered states of consciousness.
Okay, so maybe there's a real scientific reason why people have these strange experiences in the Alaska Triangle. It's
Right.
not just their imagination running wild. Could you give us some specific examples of how these environmental factors might be at work?
Sure, take infrasound, for example. It's this low-frequency sound that humans can't usually hear, but it can cause feelings of unease, anxiety, even hallucinations. And some researchers believe that geological activity in the Alaska Triangle could be producing infrasound, which might explain some of the strange reports.
That's fascinating. What about the magnetic anomalies? Could those play a role in these perceptual distortions too?
Absolutely. Our brains are very sensitive to magnetic fields, and disruptions in those fields can cause a whole range of effects, from feeling a little disoriented to experiencing full-blown hallucinations. So the unusual magnetic activity in the Alaska Triangle could be interacting with our brains in ways we don't fully understand yet.
It's like our brains are picking up signals that we're not consciously aware of,
Yeah.
and that's causing these strange perceptions. As we've been talking, I've been thinking about the impact of technology on our understanding of the Alaska Triangle. Are there any new tools or techniques being used to investigate these mysteries?
Oh, absolutely. Advancements in technology are completely changing how we approach the unexplained. We've now got sophisticated sensors, imaging equipment, and data analysis tools that allow us to gather and analyze information in ways that we couldn't have even imagined a few decades ago.
So we're not just relying on eyewitness accounts and blurry photos anymore.
Not at all. Researchers are using drones with high-resolution cameras and thermal imaging sensors to survey huge areas of the Alaskan wilderness. They're also using ground-penetrating radar and magnetometers to map underground anomalies and search for any traces of those missing aircraft.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like we're finally getting the tools we need to unlock the secrets of the Alaska Triangle. Do you think these advancements will lead to any big breakthroughs anytime soon?
I think it's definitely possible. The more data we collect, the better our chances of finding patterns and maybe some explanations for what's happening in the Alaska Triangle.
It feels like we're entering a new era of exploration, where science and technology are being used to investigate the unknown.
It's really exciting.
It all starts with curiosity, asking questions, and not just dismissing the things we don't understand.
Exactly. The Alaska Triangle is a good reminder that there's still so much we don't know about our world.
It's humbling and exciting at the same time. But for now, let's move on to some of those theories about the Alaska Triangle. When we come back, we'll dig into the evidence, or lack of it, behind each one. Okay, so we've heard about all the strange happenings in the Alaska Triangle. Now let's dive into some of the theories people have come up with to try and explain it all. Are we talking aliens, interdimensional portals, government cover-ups, or what?
Well, with all the UFO sightings in the region, it's no wonder that a lot of people think aliens are involved. They point to the advanced technology these unidentified objects seem to have, tech that's far beyond anything we can currently build.
So basically, if it looks like a UFO and flies like a UFO, it's got to be aliens, right? But if aliens really were visiting us, wouldn't we have found more concrete evidence by now? Like a piece of their spaceship or even just a stray alien gadget?
You're right, that's the biggest problem with the alien theory, the lack of real, tangible proof. We have eyewitness accounts and radar anomalies, sure, but there's no undeniable physical evidence to prove they're actually here.
It's all just circumstantial. Okay, so then what about these interdimensional portals? Are we talking about gateways to other worlds? Because that's a whole other level of weird.
Well, the interdimensional portal theory is a little more speculative, but it tries to explain all those sudden disappearances and reappearances we've been discussing. The basic idea is that there could be places where the fabric of reality is weaker, allowing things to travel between dimensions.
Okay, so picture this. You're hiking in the woods, you stumble upon one of these dimensional rifts, and boom, you're suddenly in a parallel universe. Is that kind of the gist of it?
Yeah, that's the general idea. But we have to remember that this is still just speculation. We haven't found any scientific evidence to back up the existence of these interdimensional portals, at least not yet.
Okay, so maybe not a literal door to another dimension, but hey, what seems like science fiction one day could be reality the next, right? Now, what about the government cover-up theory? Is the government really hiding something big from us out there in the Alaskan wilderness?
Well, the government cover-up theory is always a popular one, especially among conspiracy theorists. The idea is that the government knows all about what's happening in the Alaska Triangle, but they're keeping it under wraps. Maybe to avoid mass panic, or maybe it's a matter of national security. Who knows?
Yeah, it's basically, we know about the aliens and the portals, but shh, don't tell anyone. It does sound a bit like a movie plot.
It's easy to dismiss it as just paranoia, but governments have been known to keep secrets, especially about sensitive or controversial stuff.
True enough. I guess the truth is out there, but it's probably locked away in some top secret file somewhere. So with all these different theories, which one do you find most convincing?
To be honest, I find them all fascinating, but I try to keep a healthy level of skepticism. We just don't have enough concrete evidence to say for sure which theory, if any, is the right one.
I guess the Alaska Triangle is going to keep us guessing for a long time. But that's part of the fun, isn't it? There's still mystery out there, things we don't understand. Keeps us on our toes.
Yeah. The Alaska Triangle is a reminder that there's still so much we don't know about our world.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the bizarre disappearances and strange lights to those mind-bending theories about aliens and other dimensions. It's enough to make anyone wonder what's really going on out there in that vast wilderness.
It's a place that sparks the imagination and makes us think about possibilities beyond our everyday lives.
Absolutely. So to everyone listening, we hope this deep dive into the Alaska Triangle has left you with a sense of wonder. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one to crack the code of this mysterious place.
The truth is out there, waiting to be discovered.
This is The Deep Dive, signing off.